I do get a properly elevated heart rate, I'll be honest.
We should have heart rate monitors. These races are very exciting. It's thrilling to have the chance to share them with you wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome if you're up super early from Southport in Australia on the Gold Coast there, rowing on the Nerang River up in Queensland. Here we're looking at Eton, very local. So this is Eton College against the Southport School from Queensland, Australia. So come from a couple of miles or come from halfway around the planet to race here at Henley.
Attention! Go!
Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup Junior Men's 8, Eton College, who've won several of the last 5 or 6 years races up against the Southport School from Australia. Here they are, the Australians.
Yeah, nice, powerful, punchy start from both 8s, actually. Eton has got a long legacy of success down this course, and it's wonderful seeing when the international crews come, especially from as far away as Australia, just coming to see if they can make their mark on the same iconic course.
I like the way they're rowing, actually. It's kind of loose but quite aggressive through the middle of the stroke, really trying to move that boat. Eton are really strong competitors, huge history here at Henley, and of course Eton have got their own Olympic course, no stranger to that course. Catherine here alongside me, and it's neck and neck, stroke for stroke, man for man right here.
And again, you know, there's both 8s, whether it's junior, whether it's university, whether it's club or international, it's that same ability of getting those 8 athletes perfectly drilled to have that relaxed pickup, massive workload coming through the sort of legs and the back, and then that really smooth run to let the boat just run underneath you, and all happening at high pace, high speed, high intensity.
Eton against the Australians. How's it going to unfold?
At the moment, it looks like Eton's probably moving out. They just have that slightly better move per stroke on the boat. But I'd say, you know, early stages now, both boats are travelling well.
So looking here at the Australian blade works, really quite tight, isn't it? Getting 8 athletes to combine together like that is quite tricky. But they're doing well. But I think Eton have got a seat or two on them at this point in the race, just coming up to the first major mark. You can see the flag about to go down, so the timekeepers can take the signal.
It is really nice, relaxed rowing from the Australians. It's low shoulders. There's still that intensity you can see under the water when the legs connect. But upper body looks, you know, looks in control. Looks like they've got a lot still to give.
So this is the Southport School, delighted to come halfway around the planet to race here at Henley Royal Regatta, and they're hanging on now to Eton, but they're still looking relaxed and powerful as they try to hang on to that overlap. And here's Eton. They won this event in 2016, 2019 and 2021. They've got some ambition there in the boat here as you look at Cox, Edward Crosswaite Eyre, 16 years old, looking across over his shoulder.
I like the message, thank you, Mr. Cross. It was at the back of the Cox there.
Eagle eyes. And you can hear the Cox actually there just calling them for a little bit of a move, I think. Here we go. He's wanting to break the overlap, break the connection between the two crews. Really important at the moment psychologically, and in the crew from Australia, the Southport School, suddenly their opponents disappear from the peripheral vision, and it's only the Cox sitting there, Sean Mudimu for the Southport School, who can now see the opposition.
Yeah, and if you're in that lead boat as the Cox seat, you can look across, and what they want to look across is want to look across and not see the other boat, and of course knowing it's still there, but they want to look across and go, no, we have got that gap. But Southport are responding, they are holding on, they're not going to let Eton slip away at this point, so they know they're going to have to raise the intensity, raise the level to try and get further on, because as we keep saying with the 8s, once you kind of get that overlap, you can start almost pulling back one seat at a time. It's a long boat to try and work your way back through, but it's very possible.
I think they're listening to you, Catherine, because I can see now that the Southport School have indeed regained an overlap, and they've begun to move through. They have got, in the last probably 200 metres, they've regained half a length, and they now have nearly half a length overlap with Eton. So the question for Eton is, can they respond? You know, they thought they'd broken. You heard the Cox call to get that quick, clear water advantage, and they maybe only had it for 1 or 2 strokes before this really powerful response.
Yeah, and I think what we now see is this, again, this sort of the psychological test happens. If you're in Eton, you know you almost had the full length, and suddenly you've got a boat that's halfway moving back through your crew. If you're in Southport, then you thought the boat was moving away, but suddenly they're back, they're right next to you, and that raises that sense of this is possible, this can happen.
Really mature rowing here from the Southport School, and they continue to move on Eton. Now, Eton obviously will know the track, know the course, know the landmarks rather better, perhaps, having that experience. Mark Fangman Hall has coached many successful Eton crews to wins here, but the Southport School are moving again. Jeffrey Warren in the bow seat will be yelling to the men in front of him, the young men in front of him, that they're moving and they're moving. In the stern still, you can't see, sitting at stroke, Jed Galley and 7, Caden Miller-Wright will not know what's happening, but in the bows they can see it and they can feel it.
Yeah, but I think Eton have responded. I think they've seen the threat, they've seen the danger, and they've moved. And again, it's that, you know, you've got choices. Do you lift the rate? Do you lift the power? Do you lift the intensity? How do you do it? But you have to respond once that threat starts coming from the opposition. And what they've done is, you know, knowing they're coming to the grandstands, can we just raise it another intensity and keep the gap that we feel more comfortable with?
So they've got about 350 metres still to go as they approach the final stages of this 2,112 metre track. Again, Edward in the coxswain seat, looking across at the opposition moving. He's concerned about what's going on there, and the question now is, have the Southport School got that final gear? Can they kick it up, and can they move it on to accelerate through? And Eton, well, as you say, they did seem to be holding them off for a period of time. Could have been quite an expensive move in the middle there for the Southport School.
It was, but you can see the 5 seat in the Southport School, you know, shouting. Suddenly the middle of the boat is getting involved and saying, we still believe we can do this. Now you can see Eton's moved. They've moved closer together, and now Southport is getting more, and you can see the blade work gets messy. They're going to be in the puddles of the Eton boat as well, so they're giving themselves a harder time to try and get through rough water.
Yeah, stern warning there from the umpire Fiona Dennis on board Boadicea. The Southport School corrected, but it looked to me like they're coming a little bit back across, being drawn into Eton, but we're now into the final 100 metres of this course, and Eton are pushing away again, pushing away. Legs really burning, lungs bursting now, but they've only got a couple of strokes to go to make it theirs.
Yeah, Eton will know now they've got this sewn up. It's been a really good challenge from Southport, but Eton has managed to defend their position and take this one.
Cracking 8th race there. Eton led out. Southport nearly got dropped. Really charged back through the middle of that course, but Eton was able to respond, just as Catherine called it. Nice response from Eton, mature response after that pressure, and a win for Eton College.